Hi, if you're one of my 7 subscribers, welcome back to my channel. Before I start my video today, I would just like to acknowledge that I realize my hair looks a little bit crazy right now, but all the salons are closed, so there's not really much I can do about it. Anyways, with that, let's get started. Today I wanted to talk about something interesting that I feel like I've been going through as a result of some of the things that I've experienced over the last few months because of COVID and quarantine. So yeah. So currently I feel like I'm going through a lot of changes, as many people are, just given the circumstances. For me, that means, finishing my last year of college online, working online for the first time, and also just mentally preparing to have a big girl job next year. So I feel like before I was kind of stuck in this headspace where I was forcing myself to always try to do the right thing or just like be on track. So something that I used to do sporadically is just sit down and have periods of time where I would just stress myself out. I thought of it as good stress, and I thought that if I did it enough, I would eventually figure out my life, I guess. And I feel like the type of person that I've always been is someone who really wants to do everything. I was never really good at picking a couple things. So something that one of my friends told me last year really stuck with me. He told me that if I picked 1 or 2 things and really focused on those rather than trying to like half-ass 6 different things, I could probably do those things better. And I feel like even though that sounds super obvious, it is something that I needed to hear from someone else. So I feel like at some point I decided to try to hone in on the things that I like to do more than the others. I still don't know exactly what that means for me, but I feel like at the age of 21, I'm finally starting to feel some direction in my life, which is kind of a big deal to me because going through college, I was really confused. Like, I never really knew what the next step for me would be. I feel like I change interests every year, which I feel is totally normal in college. I feel like that's what most people go through. But I was really afraid of feeling like I was never going to figure it out. So I talked to my roommate about this to kind of explain what I've been feeling, because it's just a really good feeling. And she asked me if I would describe it as alignment, and I felt like that was the right word. I feel like things in my life are starting to align themselves, and I kind of have a sense of direction. When I say direction, I don't really mean like a clear path or like that I know what my next big move is, but I just feel more inclined to do the things that make me happy, and I feel like being comfortable doing that is something that's really important but not really easy for a lot of people to do. So I think one of those things for me is starting a YouTube channel. I feel like this is something that I've been wanting to do for maybe over a year now, and I was thinking about it more seriously during quarantine, but I didn't feel like I had the right environment or the space to do it while I was at home. So in terms of where I am now, I feel like for the first time in my life, I have the time and the space to do whatever I want. And I know it seems like I should have had this whole time, like no one's really stopping me from doing anything, but I feel like I was holding myself back a lot and just concerned about the wrong things, like what other people would think, and if I was, doing the right thing for myself. Was I securing the bag for my future? So I thought I'd just take some time to talk about some of the most valuable things that I've learned during quarantine. So the first thing that I've learned during quarantine is to set aside time to do things that you genuinely enjoy. So I realized during some point in college that I really didn't have any hobbies anymore. All I was really doing was working, going to school, and sometimes going out to eat with my friends. I feel like with the kind of person that I am, I'm always looking to try new things, and that's really hard for a lot of people to do. And even if I do take my friend's advice and end up picking like 2 things that I really want to stick to, I think it is important to kind of step out of your comfort zone or put yourself into environments that you normally wouldn't, because then at least that way you can look back and never feel like you should have done more. The second thing that I've learned during quarantine is the importance of learning how to adapt and adjust. So something that one of my professors said a lot during this quarter was to be like water. And I didn't exactly know what that meant at first, but what that really means is just being fluid and learning to adapt given whatever circumstance you're in. I think a realization during COVID for a lot of people was that COVID isn't just gonna one day end. I think how far we are into it now, we realize that it will go away slowly, but the way that a lot of people were saying it early on was like, it's just gonna be over one day and then our lives are gonna go back to normal. But I think it's really important to recognize that there's really no end for this. What we really can do is take from what we're learning through this experience and apply it into our lives to maybe approach life in a different way, and accept that there's always going to be things that we can't really control or expect. The third thing that I've learned is to not stress yourself out over situations that are out of your control. This resonates with me because I used to think that I was cursed, and I feel like being in that mindset made me 10 times more upset when something bad would happen to me, and I was also more pessimistic in the way that I approached things. I think the best thing you can do for yourself is to get into the mindset of believing that everything happens for a reason, and you have to learn to accept things even if they don't go your way all the time. I feel like I'm always searching for signs from the universe, and sometimes even trying to excessively find meaning behind the things that are happening to me, but I feel like it really helps me get through hard times and stay positive. The next thing that I realized during quarantine was that you really need to take the time to cleanse yourself of the things that don't serve you any purpose anymore and make room for new things to come. So my parents are low-key hoarders. They always have been from what I can remember growing up. That being said, even though I realized that this is something that I didn't like, I feel like some of those habits stuck with me. I don't hoard, but I definitely find it difficult to get rid of things from my life. And by that, I mean not only material possessions, but also people. I don't mean to sound like I am psychoanalyzing myself, but I think it's really important to learn to let go of things and trust the process. This is a realization that I came to during the summer when I let go of someone from my life that I was very aggressively trying to keep in my life, even though I know that they weren't really serving me any purpose. And I'm not saying that people should be in your life to serve you a purpose, but they should bring value to your life. Your relationships with people should always be 50-50. Like, you should bring the same value to their life that they bring into yours, no matter what kind of relationship you have with them. I also feel like this person was someone whose opinion always really mattered to me, and I was kind of stuck in the cycle of constantly trying to impress them, even though I had known this person for so long. Like, there was no reason for me to try and do that. I feel like I was really upset for about 2 days, but I got over it more quickly than I thought I would, and I started to see it as just making room for what was to come next. So yeah, I feel like even though a lot of these things are super obvious, a lot of people don't really take the time to just like sit down and reflect, and I've had a lot of time for reflection during these last few months, and it's just a good feeling waking up every day not feeling like shit. I don't know, feeling like you have like a purpose in life and feeling good during times that are really hard for a lot of people, and just not feeling stuck or feeling lost. And I just feel like this is something that I haven't really felt in a really long time. It's really getting me through, and I just wanted to share that. So if you have experienced any of these things, or you feel like any of the things that I talked about resonated with you, feel free to reach out. We can chat about it. Yeah, thanks for watching.